Hello everyone, my name is Matt Perkins. I first want to thank you for taking the time to watch my case study. Today, we'll be discussing the case 4.4, Willful Ignorance or Deception by Robert Solomon. In this case, we have two contract employees that have been working in the accounting department at a bank for 8 months. Their manager had worked with the Human Resources Department to post the job at a starting salary of $29,500. Both employees accepted the position at this salary. Time passed and the department's budget was under review. While doing this, it was discovered that the two employees were actually being paid $35,900 versus the $29,500 that they had originally agreed to. The manager assumed that this was a typo and alerted the HR department. HR said that this wasn't a typo and that the employees were actually being paid the $35,900. This seems odd because neither employee had reported the incorrect pay to the manager or to Human Resources. So the question at hand is, as their manager, what are you to do? Before we consider what the manager should do, we should consider if the average person would even notice the difference in salary. For the sake of this video, we're going to compare the two salaries while considering the tax implications. So basically, a $29,500 salary is $14.18 an hour, or $478 a week after tax. Conversely, a $35,900 salary is $17.26 an hour, or $577 a week after tax. So from $14 to $17 an hour, this is a difference of $99 a week. I would say that the average person who accepts a new job would be likely to figure out what their weekly pay would be once they know their base salary. Because of this, I would say that the average person is going to notice an extra $100 a week on their check. Now, considering that the average person would notice the mistake, we must ask if this is indeed a moral issue. To me, I think it is. I would argue that the two employees knowingly defrauded the company by not alerting someone to the mistake. One of the key reasons I say this is because both of these employees are in the accounting department, which means that they understand money. Not only that, but they also understand what happens when a financial mistake is made. Because of this, first, I consider the deception a lie. Not in the sense of telling a lie, but in the sense of disclosing information that they knew would result in a pay adjustment. And second, by keeping the money that they were not owed, they've also committed theft against the company. So of course, we have a few different ways we can look at the moral issue that is faced by the manager due to the choice of the employees. If we say that by withholding information, they took away the free choice of the manager to make a decision, we can reasonably conclude that Immanuel Kant would have said that they behaved in a morally deplorable way. This is because Kant says it's never right to lie, because you affect the free choice of others. Next, if we consider John Mill's utilitarianism theory, he says that it's not the agent's own greatest happiness, but the greatest amount of happiness altogether. So by withholding the information on the incorrect salary from the agents of the company, the greatest good was not served. In other words, two individuals improperly gained money, which could have been used by the company to benefit a larger group of people. It's easy to dismiss this because of the relatively low dollar value added to each of their checks, but the sum of the money could range into the thousands of dollars over time. And while we can't be certain, we can speculate that this money could have been used for some other purpose, such as a lunchroom remodel, maybe a new vending machine, possibly a charity donation, or even to pay other employees that are actually owed the money. Regardless, the money did not go to the greatest good of the most people, as Mill would prescribe. Another perspective is Thomas Hobbes and his contractual ethics theory, on contractionism as it's called. or contractionism as it's called. Hobbes proposed that people would be willing to trade in some of their natural rights in order to have security. He says that the mutual transferring of a right is what people call contracts. If we think about it from this perspective, the two employees have in essence signed a contract with society saying that they would not steal or lie because they do not want to be stolen from or lied to. So by not reporting the mistake, they've broken their contract with society. So after reviewing the case from a number of ethical theories, we can now return to the original question posed in the case study. What would I do if I was the manager? For me, this really comes down to the idea that I believe they knew that their pay was incorrect. It just seems improbable that they did not recognize that there's an extra $100 a week on their check. Because of this, I would call them into the HR office and ask the question, do you know that your pay was incorrect? In my career, I have found that the direct approach is usually the most effective. This is because it puts the person in a position to be truthful or deceptive. In this case, I already believe that they're being deceptive. So the answer determines the outcome. If they knew, I would terminate them immediately. You can't allow people to be on your team who put their individual interest over others, especially in an accounting position which has access to other people's financial information. Now there's a wild card in this case, and that's because they both hired in at the same time. They may have asked each other about their pay and decided it was a mistake on their part when hearing the starting salary. I will say that this is far-fetched, even in my mind. I would say that they would, if this happened, they should have confirmed that starting salary with the manager if the amount was in question, right? So if they say, no, they didn't know that their pay was incorrect, I would think that this is where things get tricky. If the story has some plausible explanation, I would put them on probation with a deduction of pay until the extra money is paid back. If the explanation is not plausible, again, they're terminated. Because of the circumstances in this case, there's about a 99.9% chance that the employees are terminated. As I mentioned, this is because of their position in the accounting department and the likelihood of them knowing about the mistake and not coming forward. While this is my opinion of the case, I want to leave you with the question posed in the case study. What would you do if you were being modestly overpaid?